Hey everybody, and welcome to Authors and Dragons Interlude. The episodes that happen when, for one reason or another, we are not able or willing to do a regular game. In this particular case, we are down Steve during a pretty key moment, and also it has been a really long week all around. So, we are going to be taking your questions. We're just going to go through and take them all this time instead of having to pick and choose at the end. But before that, it is time for introductions, beginning with, of course, John Hartness.
Hey, everybody. I'm John Hartness, and I am exhausted. I fell down, and I've finally put myself back together again. But I is tired, so I'm glad I'm not having to think very much this week. In real life, I write some stuff. I publish some stuff. Go to falstaffbooks.com and look me up. You'll find things. It'll be cool. You'll love it, I promise.
Hi, I'm Joseph Barassi. I play the role of Bjorg Bjornsson, enthusiastic and violent barbarian. I was an author on the Mongoliad books. My novel Skyper and Dragon Road can be found from Angry Robot Books and everywhere books are sold. And I am the new parent of a adorable orange kitten who is currently licking his balls in my lap.
And if you could do that, you'd never do another podcast.
Hey everyone, my name is Rick Gualtieri, and I am playing Rick Gualtieri, an author who's trying to migrate his website to a new host and trying to get his heat working because he stupidly upgraded to a smart thermostat. In real life, well, that's what I'm doing, but I also have several things out there, including 2 new audiobooks. Sins of the Past, which I have co-wrote with author Ari Carr, and Kraken Hunters, the final book in the Crypto Hunter trilogy. So go check that out so that I may have heat.
Hello, friends. My name is Robert Bevan. I play the role of Klaus Richter, the notorious rogue. In real life, I write the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy, novels, and short stories, starting with the first book, Critical Failures. The latest book, Critical Failures 9, what was that called? No Holds Barred, is available now. So go get it.
Hey everybody, I am Drew Hayes, the exhausted author of an annual Choose Your Spooky Outcome Halloween series that you can go check out the most recent iteration of. I write those every day for 13 days straight, so it can be a bit of tiring, but it's also a lot of fun, and big thanks to everyone who voted along this year, and I hope you can check it out next time. I'm also the author of books such as Superpowers NPCs, Fred the Vampire Accountant, and it is time for us to take your questions, beginning, of course, as always, with the Discord questions. So, Rick, why don't you tell us what those wonderful Patreon folks have been asking? And if you're out there wondering how you could become a Patreon, well, that's just patreon.com/authorsanddragons.
What? Well, you're supposed to vamp for me. God damn it!
Well, you did that plug at the end was.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, fortunately, the fact that you started with Interlude gave me a slight clue I might be doing this. So anyway, we start off with an interesting question from our friend Erin Tiggy. She asks, are there any plans yet for Authors and Dragons Con 2022?
Funny you should ask that, Erin.
There is no Erin Tiggy. That really felt like a plant.
How do you know? How many plants have you felt? I mean, wait, no. Funny you should ask that, Erin Tiggy, if that is your real name. Just today, I signed the contract for Authors and Dragons Con 2022, which will, in fact, take place on the weekend of August 19th through 21st in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the University Hilton. We have some great big ballroom space. We've got a good room rate. Hopefully that link code will be live by the time you're hearing this. And tickets will be on sale by the time you hear this, including some pretty spanky upgraded ticket options. We're going to do some fun opportunities for people to, well, let's be real, for people to give us more money. Because running conventions is expensive.
But oh, the cool things they get in return.
Yes, they will get very cool things. some things that we've talked about amongst ourselves and some things that I talked to our good friend John Luther Davis about. So let's go to Eventbrite and look up Authors and Dragons Con, or go to authorsanddragons.com and click the link. And I'm going to guess that there will also be a cool new Authors and Dragons Con Charlotte t-shirt coming sometime soon. Steve's going to design that, even though he doesn't know it yet.
That's what happens when you miss the interlude. It's the same as missing a meeting and group project.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Congratulations. You were elected for everything.
It's how I ended up secretary of a not-for-profit. I missed a meeting, and when I showed up again, they're like, hey, you're the secretary. It's like, why? Well, because we thought it wouldn't be fair to make you president just because you missed a meeting.
It's actually pretty nice of them.
It was also my first board meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, they really missed a chance to strike before you knew better.
For real.
For you guys who made it to the last con, I'd like you to know I've got some plans on upping my Jorcerer game.
Oh,
That's
God.
frightening.
Oh,
Be there
God.
for that.
Oh,
That's
God.
terrifying on just so many levels.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it this year.
Whew, I gotta see what kind of security deposit we're putting down.
It's going to be, it's just really hot in Charlotte. I'm not sure I can do the heat this year.
We all hope you'll join us for the first and last year that we're welcome in Charlotte for A&D Con. Not just the hotel, the city.
And not just for the con, but like I'm gonna need a new place to live.
This is why I never want to host it in Dallas.
Yeah.
And all I will say is I was looking forward to having breakfast at Famous Toastery with their sausage gravy. Now I might be avoiding any jars of white sauce.
Oh.
Wait till you see my sausage gravy.
I don't need to see that. It's really not necessary.
Oh, it's already planted in your mind. You can't get rid of it.
No, I don't. No, I do not envision things reflexively when they are told to me. I'm holding this at bay with all my might.
Yeah, you
Probably
know what
gonna-
I'm holding? I'm holding 2 different jars of THC gummies, trying to decide which one is going to help wipe that image from my mind.
And which one might
Oh my God,
enhance
I thought
it?
you were going to say 2 different jars of white sauce.
Yeah, guaranteed to destroy short-term memory.
I don't remember this evening.
Well, while we're on the subject of conveniently asked questions by our friend Erin Tiggy, she also asked, "Is there an update to Shingles the movie?"
God damn, that really is just Steve with a different name, isn't it?
That's why Steve can't make it tonight. He's busy posting questions for us, throwing us easy low curveballs on the Discord.
Yeah. So who wants to talk about Shingles the movie? Because it's awesome, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are we telling everything? Is
I mean, it's announced that it's happening, right?
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I still don't want to do it because I'm not articulate.
Well, eventually we're going to have to tell them that we're looking at shooting in late spring, early summer in the Pittsburgh, Philadelphia area, because some of them paid for the privilege of being in the movie. So people can start getting ready for that April to July window of time. So if you bought the perk that says be an extra in the movie and you live in Australia, start swimming like now.
They have Australia has those saltwater crocodiles that sometimes cross the ocean. You could always hop on the back of one of those.
Ooh, surf. Yeah.
Jesus, is that real?
Yeah, saltwater, and they don't cross the Pacific, but yeah, there's saltwater crocodiles that swim between the islands in the Pacific. Yeah,
Losers.
they are among the absolute most aggressive crocodilian animals on the planet. They will absolutely murder you for no reason.
Or they'll murder you for calling them losers on a podcast.
I mean,
Or for trying to surf on them.
Bob's going to
I'm
get
just
a knock on his
imagining
garage
why
door.
they don't go cross the Pacific and just kick the shit out of everything in the way.
I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that they ride currents. but there is some humor in that. I don't know. Maybe one day they will cross the Pacific and show up in California and just start killing people.
Oh God. I mean, it's what they would do. It's how they'd want to go.
I mean, Shingles too.
I think I have the new pitch.
That's going to be another Rosinski movie.
Saltwater Crocs. These ones aren't made of plastic.
Fooled you, they really are, because that's what the budget can handle.
Crocodile Beach.
We have been making some progress on the Shingles movie. We've also come up with a couple of neat ideas we're working on for ways that people can commemorate the Shingles movie with awesome product, swag, shit that you can buy. God, I am such the huckster of this group, aren't I?
Yeah. You go for it.
Just hawk it with all your might.
But yeah, if you missed the chance to support it with the Indiegogo, that was just at a bad time. We'll have.
We've got some badass shit you can buy.
Relieve you of your money.
Yeah, we got some badass shit you can buy.
I totally thought Rick was going to be like, if you missed the chance to support us last time, we have other ways of making you talk.
That too. And if you would like to see perhaps a new trailer, perhaps a sneak peek, we're hoping to have at least a sizzle reel ready to go for Authors and Dragons Con in August. So buy that ticket. See that Shingles shit.
I feel like we kind of danced around this. Bottom line is, Shingles the movie is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing it.
We've said everything but that.
I think we announced that a while ago.
But holy shit, we're making a fucking movie.
Yeah, that is still insane to me. Like that does not fully feel real in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna really register it until it's getting closer. But it's a similar feeling to, holy shit, we're hosting a con.
Yeah, we keep reaching higher and being like, yeah, this is never gonna work. Oh, it worked.
Well, technically, Shingles is kind of more reaching lower.
Well, it's just reaching underneath a little and tickling.
Welp.
Shingles, the ultimate career reach around.
Yes.
All right.
What else we got?
All right. Well, I think that's all of our feels like an obvious plant questions. So why don't we move on to our friend Zach of All Trades, who asks a game question: what is a location that your characters have been to that you would like to return?
I would kill to go back to see Judge Hungry again in Caldern.
I think if we kill the right people, we'll get there.
I mean, I think if you kill somebody, you very well might go see Judge Hungry.
I mean, we haven't killed enough.
We sank islands, bro. Come on.
All I know is that I want to get back to Caldern too, because that place needs the arrow of the gods.
I still need to see what's at the bottom of that well.
I think Fandango wants to go with the Lightning Squid Cliff again, because that shit was hilarious. Also, I got turned translucent, which was just neat. It's not like anything bad happened to me.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of hard for Drew to to answer this without giving spoilers or stuff.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really even think I had a thing to answer. I can't really do it again. But the Island of Wrestling arc was a lot of fun. And so that's one that if I could somehow experience that again, that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wrestlers was above and beyond. Especially, I think actually one of the most memorable bits in the podcast is still the Christmas wrestle.
Yeah.
Fucking.
We could do an island of NASCAR or incest.
Why not both?
God, an island of NASCAR would be amazing.
Welcome to the island of NASCAR and
joking.
incest.
But you repeat yourself.
I don't think you can have one without the other.
We do two things on this island.
You put them together. You put those words together, and you get NASTest.
Racing and our sisters.
Oh no! No, why? Ugh.
All right. Our friend Seldriana asks, what's one essential item you stock up on for the winter?
Eggnog. Between November
That's a good one.
and like January, there is always eggnog in the house.
But how much can you really stock up on eggnog? Because there's a pretty clear expiration date on a dairy product.
Yeah, mine always goes bad before anybody drinks it. I'll have a couple of sips and then, all right, well, I've had my eggnog for the
I
year.
will gargle that shit.
But yeah, that I used to be like that when I was a kid. But man, that's a little cup of eggnog.
It goes
will
down
do
really
me.
heavy these days.
If you can find it, Promised Land is the best prepackaged I've found.
We get a local company called Dairy Gold that makes a pretty good one. The other thing I stock up on is like decent hot chocolate mix.
My wife has actually been making homemade eggnog the last couple of years, and it's weird because obviously it lacks all the artificial colors and stuff that you expect. You're like, well, why isn't this like, disturbing yellow? But it's really good.
So I make my own cocoa.
I did that once in Korea.
You get just a decent chocolate bar, and you grind it with a coffee grinder, and then so you can heat your milk very carefully and then pour that over the ground up chocolate and then mix it in. But a few years back, I ended up with a thing called a velvetizer, which sounds like a weird sex toy, but it's a hot cocoa machine where you just pour in milk and then you put the powdered chocolate on top, and it just heats it to like the right temperature and everything. So it's like, yeah, I'll make my own cocoa. That's not hard, and it's fucking delicious.
My wife did something similar last year. She made hot chocolate bombs.
Oh, those are so cool. I love those.
They came out. She made these like they were like blue in color. You put them in like a thing of hot like water or hot milk, and they just like melted, and they were really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I make mulled wine every winter too. Someday I'd like to make it for y'all, but I can't think of an occasion that would allow me to do it.
Authors and Dragons Con 2022.
Get me a kitchen and get me a kitchen.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I live here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I live 15 minutes from the convention hotel. And yes, I will still be staying at the convention
I
hotel.
stock up on beer.
I don't stock up on anything because I live in North Carolina. We don't fucking get winter.
Well, I stock up extra on beer because there's nothing prohibiting me from going out, but it's cold and I don't want to.
That's fair.
I enjoy the Christmas tree cakes. I do buy a few boxes of those whenever I see them on the shelves.
It's like kind of it's hot. Certain recipes that are like just not fun to to make when it's hot. So I tend to if I'm gonna like stock up on stuff, I tend to make chili maybe 3 times over a winter.
Yeah.
Do you make like just a shitload of chili, or is it just like a special occasion thing?
Okay, so when I make my chili, I get 2 things out of it. One obviously the chili, which usually I can freeze half of it and have it later. And 2, I'll drain the liquid to make it thicker, and I'll freeze that, and that will make a really good spicy spaghetti sauce.
Oh, that does sound good.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, when you said like chili 3 times a winter, I was thinking of it in the way of like my mom on a budget when I was a kid, just making a huge goddamn thing of chili and then freezing it. It's like, what are we having tonight? You know what we're having tonight? It's fucking chili.
Kind of like the never-ending stew. It just kind of sits on the stove, and you put new shit in it every day.
That sounds awesome and also kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
That sounds horrifying.
No, we actually do that. Whenever we do hot pot, we do hot pot, we'll take the broth that's left over, we'll freeze it, and the next time we do hot pot, we'll bring that out and put more stuff in it. So it's actually not as horrifying as it sounds.
I mean, I didn't invent it. It's a thing that people did and apparently still do. You just keep a stew going, put shit in it.
Yeah, some restaurants do that. It's basically just a perpetual stew that just keeps going on and on.
That's the only explanation for how fast I got my Chinese food today.
Human soup.
Give them a bowl of the never-ending stew.
Also, there's only one pot of Bert's chili at Waffle House, ever anywhere, and they just kind of shoot it through pipes to every Waffle House in the world.
Pipe soup.
I like the idea of there being a worldwide network of of pipes like pancake batter, and them right next to like all the like tubes full of the internet.
Yeah, exactly. When your internet's running slow, it's because too many people ordered chili at the same time, and the tubes are clogged up.
How awesome would that be to be digging in your backyard, and rather than hitting a gas main and blowing yourself to bits, you instead hit like a food main.
I mean, it would beat the shit out of hitting a gas main and blowing yourself up.
Oh, I guess I hit the chili pipe again. Oh wait, that would
chili pipe.
Nah, maybe not chili pipe, because it'd be like, I hit the chili pipe. No, that was the sewage pipe.
Yeah.
You could find yourself covered in sausage gravy.
Jesus Christ.
That's them that kind of stopped me from going to Famous Toastery. All right. The good thing about these interludes, it gives us a chance to answer the questions that under normal circumstances I might look at, tilt my head and go, I have no idea what caused you to ask this. So our friend Fluffed asked, what's your favorite method of looking for a space in a parking structure?
What's your favorite?
Being tall.
What's your favorite what?
Method of looking for a space in a parking structure. I guess he means like if you're in a airport garage, do you like go to the top, assume you're fucked, and like work your way down? Do you start at the bottom and like hope you'll actually get a good one? I'm extrapolating a lot.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm assuming it's when you go to Costco and you say, fuck if I'm going to like spend 20 minutes waiting for like these three assholes that are waiting on the same spot. I'm just going to go to the other side of the lot where I always get a spot, and, it'll add an extra 20 seconds to my walk, but fuck all you guys.
And
I'm definitely in the same boat as Bob. I'll just fucking walk.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but the problem with that method is you're like, fuck it, I'll get a spot by myself. And no matter what happens, you'll come out and you're surrounded by like giant SUVs with like tinted windows that you can't see past.
Yeah, I drive a Silverado. I go to the fucking top of the deck. I just drive to the fucking top. Or if it clears completely out and I've got a shitload of space, then I'll take a spot like that. But usually it's just, okay, I'm going to turn left in circles. Oh, look, it's like NASCAR, only slow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care how small the car, nimble. I don't like pulling into tight spaces, so I'm more than happy to drive until I find a spot where, like, there's hopefully nobody around it. But my favorite method of looking for a spot in a parking structure is, oddly enough, driving around until I find a spot. I know, go figure.
You fucking madman.
Yeah, I drive around until I find a spot, and sometimes that means I go up to the top, and sometimes that means I get off on the floor. I generally get off on whatever floor I first see a spot from the drive up, from the spiral thing. If I see spots somewhere, then I will get off on that floor. I know that at Norwestcon, I always drive up all the way to the top level of the DoubleTree because that's just the only place there's ever parking.
Makes sense. I mean, one thing I won't do, I'm kind of like Bob, I'm not going to sit there and wait for 20 minutes for somebody to pull out because, one, I'm just blocking traffic, and two, well, I'm blocking traffic and being a douche, and I don't like to do that. All right. Well, when we move on from the fascinating concept of parking, our friend Earthskater13 asks, what is your favorite video game mechanic?
Oh, that's a good one.
I would have said Mario, but he's more of a plumber than a mechanic.
Oh, God. Why do we hang out with him?
I only know Gearhead Garage.
I mean, I guess, boy, you could go very micro or very macro on what is a mechanic, but I love an RPG, I think, because I love the sense of skill and level progression.
Hold up.
So,
pause. Role-playing game or rocket-propelled grenade?
I mean, some of them have both, but I mostly meant the digital one.
Well, I did too, but Both are acceptable answers.
I like role playing games because I really enjoy that sense of like clear cut growth, and it's really fun to like be able to delineate down and pick what makes this character unique and what they're good at, and so that even if you go back through, it's a different experience because you're playing with different strengths and weaknesses. So the leveling up progression system, that I guess is my favorite video game mechanic because I look for it a lot.
I think you hit on one of the things that is mine, which is also in role-playing games, it's replayability through variation. Being able to not just reskin a character, but play a different class, because different classes have different strengths and are better with different weapons and things like that. That, to me, really ups the replayability of a game.
I will actually name two specific mechanics in two specific games I like. I like the cooking feature in Breath of the Wild, because it's just a fun little mini game that you can figure out over time. And I like the Heraldric Cube in Diablo 2.
Yes.
That's just a fun little... Even
it's
when I would get... that's right. It is in 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mine is similar to John with replayability. Two things I like are, one, I like a game with multiple endings, depending on what I do. And I try damn hard not to spoil those on YouTube. And two, just because sometimes I want to play the game full, and sometimes I want to do a speed run. I always appreciate New Game Plus. Because, it's like, yep, I'm first level, but I'm already a god.
New Game Plus is cool.
I like an easy mode, because I'm not a big hardcore gamer and I'm old, so my reflexes suck. So having an easy mode lets me go through and get the fun story stuff and play with the characters and not have to worry about mashing the buttons super fast or in the right order or whatever.
Do they even make menu-based RPGs anymore?
I think they just did the new Yakuza one, dropped into the old school menu style fighting with like a few variations, but yeah, it's still out there.
Well, all right, that's my favorite mechanic.
My wife likes that too.
Yeah, I like to be able to plot out just menus. I don't want to.
Oh, gotcha.
Like hack like with a button. I want to choose. Fight.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, like the old
cast
like
spell.
Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It would have been great. A game like Demon Souls with with a menu-based system. Would you like to die, or die?
What we take for granted is autosave, because I don't even remember what it was, but I played something on Game Pass that didn't have it, and I was like, oh, fuck this. I mean, because like something happened and I like lost 30 minutes of gameplay, and I was like, I'm just done. I don't have that much time. 30 minutes of gameplay. I'm out, man. That's it.
Yeah, I would 100% be out. I think Left 4 Dead had specific save points and didn't have autosave. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me anymore.
Well, Left 4 Dead. I mean, each chapter is only like an hour, so no, I don't think that's quite the same. But yeah, I can understand that. Especially if it's like if it's an in-depth game and stuff. It's like, oh, you have died. Oh crap! And I got to do this. I remember, I think I was playing the first God of War, and there was this one horrible climbing sequence, and I died, and I went to the bottom, and I was just like, I want to give it. I didn't come back to the game for a week because I was like, I can't handle doing this again.
Yeah, I really need the ability to save anywhere.
I think one of my favorite moments, I think it was in Borderlands 2. One of the DLCs had a jumping game, and I fucking hate jumping games where you have to go from a little platform to a smaller platform to a smaller platform and all of that, and time shit correctly.
Oh god, no, yeah. That's reflex. That's
platforming.
That's hand-eye coordination shit. No thank you.
After you failed it the third time, an NPC comes over the voiceover and says, I fucking hate jumping games. Can we quit? Come on, stop it. And they built the game to route you around it in story if you suck at jumping games.
That's great.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what happens if you can play jumping games because, well, I can't.
Yeah, like as much as I like the Uncharted games, and there's a lot of jumping there, and there's always going to be one where like the perspective is just a little off, and it's like, okay, I think I jumped, but I pulled back on the joystick a little bit, and I just fell to my death for the 40th time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Our friend, the Wizard of Jim. For those of you who've DM'd, have you ever hidden something in a game that would have been a massive win for the players? Either an OP weapon, an obvious clue to a big mystery, etc., that the players have just completely whiffed on.
Drew?
I mean, not in this game, but so much so in early games that I just stopped doing it.
Yeah, I don't really put an easy mode button or a hard mode button in because inevitably I find that I am in the moment I go, oh, I'm really hoping they choose X option, and if I really hope that they choose a certain option, then why not just make that the option?
Mine is more, I just learned that because something like that, it has to be a complex, difficult thing to get, or there's no sense of value to it. There's no reward. There's no weight.
Yeah.
So by the same token, I also realized that there's almost never going to be a time when the players are interested enough and dedicated enough to actually figure out one of those things. It's going to be oh, hey, this clue was interesting. Oh, hey, there's some goblins to kill. All right, well, fuck that clue. There's goblin blood.
I don't think I've ever put one in a game, but I came across, I remember when I was Elder Scrolls, was it 4 Oblivion? I was just randomly wandering and just entered this one cave that was near, and I wound up finding the person who had Umbra, which was one of the most powerful swords in the game, and the person glitched out and got stuck on a rock, and I basically just hacked her to death, and I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Got the most powerful sword in the game. Guess I'm gonna go kick some ass.
I've never put that much effort or thought into a game that I was running. I don't like running games.
I mean, I did play in a game one time where I think I might have told this story. One of the party members had this item that was his lifelong quest. It was this powerful artifact, and we finally came upon the place where it was, and it was it wound up being there was a whole bunch of portraits of of the bad guy, and my character just started smashing them, and it turned out that this guy's the thing that he had been questing for his entire life was stuck in a portable hole in one of these paintings. I don't want him destroying it and just obliterating his life's quest.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't hear the end of that for a while.
Yeah, I did it once. I put a big badass weapon at the end of a specific quest, and then my party went in the exact opposite direction and did nothing that I had planned for them. I had to improv the whole thing, and then I was grumpy, so I didn't give them the prize.
Like I said, it's the problem with any thing where the players have to take specific actions. That's just not how D&D goes.
Yeah, it's just not. No plan survives contact with the PCs.
Yeah, if your PCs are on the rails enough to get it, they're not having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
All right, Rick, do we have any more on the Discord?
Oh, we have plenty more. As many more as you want.
Well, we've done a lot from the Discord. We should probably take a few from the Facebook. What do you think?
I'm good with whatever.
Sounds good.
All right, let's mosey on to the Facebook and take
Let me open the Facebook.
So we love our Patreons, but we also love all our listeners. So we want to make sure to spread that love around.
Not like Jorcerer does.
No, not in the way that gets us thrown rightfully
Sausage
in jail.
Gravy.
Let's see here. All right, this is a potentially interesting one. Our friend Daniel asks, have you ever been banned from somewhere? If so, what for?
I don't think so.
No, I have not been caught to that degree.
No.
All right, that
Thrown
was
out
done.
of I got thrown out of a strip club once.
I might have gotten all foreigners banned from a certain bar in Korea.
What?
Damn, Bob.
You make up for the rest of us.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
Not even all
Not gonna go
Americans.
into any more detail
all
than that.
foreigners.
Yeah, I don't think we want you to go into any more detail because everything that we're thinking probably still can't compare to the reality. Yeah, no, you win. I got thrown out of a strip club once because it was a bachelor party and the groom was getting more lap dances than he or we had money to pay for. So we were asked to leave.
That's not unreasonable on their part.
No, we didn't think so either.
Let's see here.
Sorry, y'all. We're not the rule breakers you were hoping for, apparently.
Okay, here's another one. Our friend Nelson asks, what is the worst piece of common writing advice you've ever gotten, and what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten or could give?
Oh, worst. Worst is there's so many good competitors for worst.
People
Yeah.
insisting
They're-
pedantically on show don't tell.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Because, like, sometimes you have to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say any writing advice that starts with, no real author would ever, because whatever follows is just going to be complete bullshit.
And you know that there's probably someone on this podcast that has done exactly what no real author would ever.
Exactly.
I think, and it's a little complicated, but there's a piece of advice that people give out that says when you start submitting work, submit to the biggest market, the most prestigious market first, and work your way down to less prestigious or less lucrative markets. And while I get the idea, being one of the smaller markets, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Maybe don't say that I'm the 45th press to take a look at this book and all of the others have passed on it. And also, some books and stories only fit in certain niches. Some things are just too niche for a broad appeal. So if you're submitting it to a New York press that's only looking to produce things if they can sell 100,000 copies, well, you might have a 10,000 copy story. And there's nothing wrong with that, but somebody that's only interested in a big selling property isn't going to be able to work with you. So you're wasting your time.
I was going to say, one of the best pieces of advice I got comes back to your first point there, John. And I think it was, they were like, never be afraid to ask because the worst somebody can say is no.
Absolutely. Yeah, because going along with that is the best piece of advice I've ever heard, which is don't self-reject. And I get the contradiction, but research where you're submitting isn't the same thing as self-rejecting. If I've got an original book written, I don't want to submit that to some place that only does tie-in fiction because they're not going to pick it up. That's not what they do.
I will say my worst piece of advice is sort of a sub-aspect of what Joe did in the No Real Author, in the real authors write every day piece of bullshit that gets flung around a lot.
Yeah, agreed.
Really, any categorization of you have to do X activity or X practice to be a real writer. I don't really think I know any writer who writes every day. I write 5 days a week because I treat it like a job, which it is. I know some people like to do big ass sprints and then take 2 weeks off. One of the most important things about becoming a writer is learning what works for you and what doesn't. And that's going to vary from person to person. So one of the worst things you can do is go into this with a mindset of how things have to be for you to be proper. Because what you should be focusing on is what is best for you.
Oh God! Like I've run into a couple of a couple of indie authors who've taken that to the next level. We're assuming that they're like, well, I'm independent, so that means I can't hire anybody to do anything. I must do my own covers. I must do my own editing. And it's just you just want to reach the screen and just smack the shit out of them.
Oh yeah, that's all kinds of dumb.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was continue to believe in what you are working on and be your own self-hype man for yourself. You've really got to be behind what you are doing, otherwise you're just going to second guess yourself into oblivion. You've got to be a fan of your work.
What 100%. I see it all the time. People out there and they're like, is it okay if I have my character do? It's like, don't ask permission. It's your story. If you're trying to please everybody, you're going to fail.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah, I was going to go with a similar thing. I don't know how much you're going to get out of it, but the old write for the audience of you, write what you want to read is that's what I did, and for what success I've had, that's really, I think, the only way I could write. And I say worst advice, but it's worked out for a lot of people, is write to market. I couldn't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
Like I said, some people can make it work. So if that's you, go for it. But
yeah, that's like ghostwriting. That's a specific skill set.
Yeah, but yeah, Caverns and Creatures and especially Shingles. This is the stuff I want to read. Caverns and Creatures is done significantly better. Shingles, I'm currently having a little bit more fun with, but hell, that's being made into a movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. It's good advice.
Another
after
piece
all.
of good advice that I got was avoid, and this is just good life advice in general, avoid the sunk cost fallacy. If you're working on something and it's just not working for you, you've lost your desire to work on the project, just because you've sunk hours into it or whatever, doesn't mean you have to finish it. Go work on something you want to work on. Unless you're under contract, you are not obligated to finish every idea you start. You should be working on the one you want to be working on.
I'm going to come in with the exact opposite advice of Joe, actually. With some clarifications. So, if you write just for fun, absolutely do what Joe said, 100%. There's no repercussions. If you write in a capacity in which you have your income or hope to have your income, partially filled out by writing,
don't listen to me.
Then, I wouldn't say that. I would say make a habit of finishing, when you can, because it's a very bad habit that some writers can get into of they get halfway through a book and ditch it, halfway through a book and ditch it, halfway through a book and ditch it. And then when they finally do get that one that they're like, oh yeah, I'm through it, then they realize, okay, I'm really good at writing beginnings and middles, and I don't know fuck all about writing endings because I haven't practiced it at all.
That's true.
A crappy first draft can easily be saved by going through and doing rewrites and edits and stuff.
Yeah. But Joe was 1,000% right. You have to know when to throw shit away, too. Like I've said before, Forging Hephaestus had 2 other versions that got over 50,000 words, and I threw them away because they weren't working. And learning how to judge when you're just burning out on a project versus when it fundamentally needs to be scrapped is just part of growing as a writer.
Yeah, I mean, it took me 6 years to write Devil Hunters because every time I started, it just didn't feel right to write it.
Yeah.
Until it actually was the right time to write it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most empowering things I ever did as a writer was throw away a book that was 2 chapters from finished. That was under contract. The book was sold and already late.
Wow.
It was already late. And I was 67,000 words, 70,000 words into it. And I emailed the publisher and said, hey, this thing's a dumpster fire. I'm not finishing this book. And my publisher did what publishers are supposed to do. She said, okay, send it to me. I'll try to talk you down off the ledge. And a couple of weeks later, she emailed me and said, okay, so this is a dumpster fire. And we worked out a plan for what we were doing. And the book turned out to be Black Knight 7, which the second time I wrote it was really good. And a lot of the ideas from that trashed draft, the skeleton of that became Black Knight 8. I didn't save anything from the first version. I just had rough ideas still. So
Yeah, I will add to this. Keep everything you write. Like, don't delete stuff. Like, if you have a draft that's not working and you do have to ditch it, you don't have to delete that, because there could be good meat in there that you could use for other things. I've disassembled so much shit and then reused it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be a D&D player and loot the corpses.
yeah.
Yeah, the minute I throw a project out, I'm like, well, okay, but now what do I want to rip off this son of a bitch and slap on to a different project? Because this, just because one part doesn't work doesn't mean you got to throw out everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I used to do with the Tome of Bill was if there was a plot that I had to toss out, I was running a Facebook page that was told from his perspective. That was all sorts of little mini adventures on the side, and most of that tossed out stuff wound up going to there. So it was wound up getting new life.
Nice.
That's great.
I think I've said publicly, but Nick from the Superpowered series, that character concept was basically moved from a whole different series I worked on earlier. That's especially why his eyes glow golden. It's a little tip to the fact that he was originally a god in a different series.
Nice.
Okay, let me see here. All right. Our friend Mark asks, okay, since it's getting close to the holiday season, what is your favorite bad holiday movie? Also, fuck you, Mark.
Man. I feel like I have to, just as a general thing, put it out there because it earned this respect. Grumpy Cat Saves Christmas is better than you think it is. We did it for at the movies, and the fucking thing beat us.
Okay. I missed that at the movies, so sure.
No, he's right.
It definitely...
I think I missed that one as well.
Did you?
I think so. Well, I don't remember seeing it. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean I missed it.
Drew, it might have been a you, me, and Steve.
I'm gonna laugh if Bob is on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's only 60-40 that Bob's right that he wasn't there.
I'm gonna check that after this.
But at least I'm giving him 60.
God, I don't know. I mean, because there's a lot of bad Christmas movies that I just hate. I just can't stand watching Elf.
Really?
Oh,
I've never seen it.
I that movie just it's nails on a chalkboard.
I like Elf.
Wait. Did Joe say he's never seen it?
I have never seen Elf.
I'm more impressed by that than the revelation that Rick didn't like it, just because that thing was fucking everywhere for a decade.
It's still everywhere.
Joe's not alone.
Yeah, it's still on everybody's porch.
I don't see a lot of movies.
Yeah, I've never seen Elf either. I've seen the movies that made us episode about Elf, but I've never seen the movie.
Do we have to do Elf for at the movies?
No, we're good.
If we want to kill...
I mean, I feel like it's going to be like doing Ghostbusters with Steve, as long as we have Rick on there.
I don't think so, because that's... I don't know.
For favorite holiday movie, I'm gonna throw out. I actually still enjoy Home Alone, the first one. It's still funny.
Well, this was about bad holiday movies.
Oh, bad holiday movies. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of holiday movies.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't really.
Did we do that Kirk Cameron?
Oh, Jesus
No,
Christ.
we did not.
I might.
No, we did not, and we should.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. All right. I haven't seen it. That's my
Is that the,
choice.
like, Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas or something like that?
Yeah.
You know,
We did a.
Yeah, we need
I'd
to
be
do
in
that.
for an at the movies on that shit.
That thing is such a weird premise, too, because it's him going like, I'm gonna save Christmas, but he's not targeting it at like secular people. He's targeting it at other evangelicals who have a problem with how much capitalism has become a part of the holiday. It's literally him being like, I'm talking to other Christians about how corporatism is great. It's just weirdly niche to me.
Gee, a crazy film put together by somebody who's clearly off his rocker.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out Jingle All the Way. It's a pretty bad movie, but I still love it.
Yeah, that's the Schwarzenegger one, right?
Yep. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
We did that for At the
Sinbad?
Movies.
How much of the At the Movies do we remember?
All right, I
don't know if Bob was
guess
on that
one or
maybe
not.
There's something
That's
going
fair.
on. Yeah, I think there's something going on with me in Christmas time, maybe, because I make a point to be at all these at the movies, and like, I don't know, I feel like the slacker tonight.
Oh, don't worry. You still got me and Joe.
Yeah, no, I
And
don't.
You,
Like, I don't
you
think.
do remember a Muppet Christmas Carol, right, Buff?
Like
Oh, he'll never forget that memory.
I remember that, but
I mean, I think if you add mine and Joe's together, you might get 5 at the movies between the two of us.
Jim, maybe.
Mate.
Yeah, and I think one of the ones you were on, John, was Chopping Mall, the first iteration
Yep.
that we lost and then had to re-record.
So there's no proof that I was on it. So good. I'm okay with that. Because that movie was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was.
God almighty, it was
Oh.
awful.
We had a good time with it.
yeah, I remember that one.
And I did the goat one.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun one.
That one was really good. And I did Hudson Hawk.
I forgot we did Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, Hudson Hawk didn't age well.
No. No, I remember that part.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable silence.
So-
Oh, right. Sorry. Next question.
Yeah.
Welcome to why we don't live stream this shit.
Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting one. If our friend Stephanie asks, if your character were to win a high school yearbook category, what would it be? Most likely to succeed in finding traps with their face, perhaps.
I mean, I think Judge Hunger would absolutely win Most Hungry for Justice.
I think
Most likely to be excommunicated.
I think Fandango would be most likely to be murdered by an angry wife or husband or both.
God, Bjorg. That's a hard one. I don't know. I feel like I inevitably end up going wholesome with this and be like most likely to have grand adventures. Because I mean, no matter where he goes, he's going to be having fun doing it.
Well, and also, if anybody on the podcast is going to go wholesome with it, it's going to be Bjork.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Klaus would just get a bunch of have a great summers.
Stay cool.
Stay frosting.
Stay frosting. By the way, Bob, I checked. You were not on either of those At the Movie episodes.
Okay.
They were both me, Rick, and Steve.
All right. Take that, Alzheimer's.
Jesus Christ!
Not today, motherfucker.
God damn it! Oh,
I mean, better Bob wins that round than Alzheimer's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Drew.
I mean, I'm rooting for you. Apparently, we can't be sure about the others. All right. Well, since we've tapped out our Facebook, but we still have time for one more, let's circle back to that Discord. Rick, drum us up a final question, if you please, sir.
Our friend Yume Kitsune asks, if you had to or were paid to create a what-if story based on one of your series, what would you choose and how would things turn out?
Oh, shit.
I actually got a possible one in the works. It got screwed up because my September just went off the rails, but I'd been talking to some people about doing kind of a what-if... completely rewriting of of the original Bill the Vampire, but done in kind of with completely gender swapped characters and such.
That does sound interesting.
I think I would do the what if of so before Superpowers ended, and minor spoilers for how Superpowers doesn't end. But before it ended, I joked that it would be funny to do a realistic ending, which is just midway through a scene, like a white hot flash happens in the distance and then everyone dies because there's all these people with Armageddon level powers, and statistically odds are somebody would cause the end of the world. So I think it would be fun to do a what if that's like Superpowers, the realistic ending, where it's just like a normal scene and then just cuts to sudden Armageddon.
It's funny. I've often kind of thought of doing the opposite because at the end of the third book of Toma Bill, I had to make a choice of, okay, am I going to kind of do this whole world-ending war, or am I going to just keep it light? And I went with kind of world-ending war. And I've often thought, would have been fun to kind of do a what if of things that turned out differently. And it's like 6 books later, it's just Bill and his friends hanging out, just just drinking, doing absolutely nothing with their lives.
You turn Bill into Fred.
Obviously minor spoilers for Skyfarer, there's a moment where the antagonist becomes one of the protagonists, and it's kind of the linchpin of the story. But I've always wondered what would have when I first conceptualized the concept of that character arc, I had almost thought of it as a change that happened much more gradually over time, rather than something that happens abruptly. And the reason that I chose to go with the way that I did was because I knew that if I went with the original idea, the series would have had to be ridiculously long to get to where I wanted to go. And I just didn't want to do that. But I've always wondered, if I had chosen the longer route, if I had been given the contract and the books to do that originally, I have wondered how it would have turned out differently.
There's been a couple people that have suggested or just asked me if I was planning on doing like we did here in Authors and Dragons, if I was considering switching my books to 5e mechanics, and I am not. That's a thing that could happen. There could be some interesting ramifications, but no. The reason for that is I am trying to. I'm focusing more on the story and the characters, and straying farther away as painlessly as I can from lit RPG sorts of things. It's that was a hook. That was a fun thing, but it's story now, characters.
I don't know, that could be fun for a short where they get shunted into a 5e, and it's like, so roll with disadvantage. What the fuck is that?
Also that would be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it's a joke that's only funny a couple times.
All right, if that is everybody, then thank you all for joining us for this interlude. We'll be back next week with a side quest, and probably back with another game unless something crazy happens. But yeah, otherwise probably just back in 2 weeks with another episode of Authors and Dragons. Until then, bye.
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 Goodbye, friends.